Hi, Amani. How are you?
Hello, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. And tell us, how do you start your day this morning?
I started my day in a big rush. I have two kids who go to daycare. One of them is starting kindy this year. So I started my day making lunch boxes, telling them to put their shoes on, and then rushing out of the house, rushing back with a coffee, and here I am.
And what's your favorite thing to do when you're at work?
I love brainstorming, coming up with ideas. I love painting, so anything that's kind of free and unstructured time I like to use to do creative things.
To just share a little bit about your favorite paintings that you put up on the wall behind?
So the paste ups on the wall behind me are in my home studio space, and they're from a project that I was involved in the end of 2019, which was an exhibition at the Peacock Gallery in Auburn called Painting Flowers, and it was a collaboration with another artist called Miss Suffer. This one's called Little Red Corvette. It was the winner of the Cumberland Art Prize.
So Amani, what is the best thing that happened this year?
I was awarded Woman of the Year for my local area at the New South Wales Premier's Women of the Year Awards. Shortly after that, it's something I'd been working really hard for, was to get a publishing contract, and I finally managed to really seriously start working on my writing.
During the time where we could all travel, could you remember what was the country that you'd love to visit?
I've always wanted to go to Morocco. I love the architecture and colours of all the different places in the Middle East and North Africa. I'd also like to one day go back to the village that my family originates from.
What is the coolest thing you have ever done?
I was artist in residence with Sweatshop Western Sydney, which is the literacy movement. I had the real pleasure and privilege of illustrating each of the contributing authors. And this publication was produced entirely by women of colour and Indigenous women. And I also wrote a chapter for Arab Australian Other, which was published in 2019.
If you could make a documentary, what would it be about?
It would be about how people have been creative over the years and throughout history. I'm really interested in artists who bring political activism into their work and into their process. And I think that would be a really fascinating thing to explore on a deeper level.
When you were much, much younger, do you remember what did you want to be growing up?
I definitely wanted to be a lawyer, and I did become a lawyer. I experienced the legal world and got to work on a lot of exciting cases. As soon as I got the chance to sort of reflect on what I was doing and how it aligned with my values and my direction, I realized I was ignoring a lot of my creativity because of the pressures that I had growing up, because of this idea that we have to be successful in a particular way in order for it to count. Really happy to be in a place where I can do that now.
And what was your fondest memory of high school?
Oh, I loved high school. Probably graduation. So being able to put a tick beside all that and say, well, there we go, I've done it. After all that hard work, I think it was, I would definitely say that graduation would be the highlight of my high school experience.
Who was your favorite teacher and why?
I had a few favorite teachers. I'm actually still in touch with my art teacher. It felt like everything had come full circle.
What is your favorite artwork of all time?
I really like a painting called Solitude by Marc Chagall. For some reason, I really connected with that painting, the way that it creates a reflection on what it means to have solitude and that little bit of quiet. I think that had a bit of an influence on me.
What would you say to anyone who is finding their purpose in life?
I don't think anyone has just one purpose. I think you can always reflect on how you can influence the circle around you, how you can contribute your skills to different things in a way that's meaningful.
And what advice would you give young person who are interested in your career?
You have to be quite passionate about what you're doing. I think you have to know what it is that you're trying to achieve and to work really hard.
So Amani, last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
I would advise my younger self to really trust in her instincts and not feel pressured to put aside her needs in order to please other people or prove her worth, because I think girls are inherently worthy and deserve to have their needs and their perspectives heard.
Thank you, Amani, for being a part of our Strive to Thrive video series. It's an honor to meet you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.